Michael Fair from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the director of the Portland Comedy Film Festival. The Portland Comedy Film Festival Summer 2022 event is coming up on September the 18th, right at the end of summer. We're going to be at the Clinton Street Theater, and one of the films we're going to be screening, I am here with the director today of Swiss Ball, and that's Andrew Racho. Hey, Andrew.
What's up? How's it going, man?
Oh, my man. Good to see you. We love having your film nominated for the best best animated comedy film award. So
Nice.
good job there. And
Yeah.
you were recognized. You finished as a finalist at Austin Comedy Film Festival Spring 2022 as a finalist for the best animated comedy film award as well. So, man, great job, Andrew. We appreciate having you.
Thanks. I'm always glad once I find, I found you as a festival, and you were very open to receiving my filthy version of comedy. So I was just like, you know what, I want to submit to more of your festivals because I know that you appreciate what I do, and your audiences do too. So I got to keep doing it. Whenever there's something new, I should bring it to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I sent out a poll one time for Austin Comedy Film Festival. I was like, why did you submit here? And this guy from the UK says, he writes back and he says, I looked at your lineup from last year. You'll play anything, mate. Right? Which I don't even know if that's a compliment or not, but let's just say in Austin, they like to get dark with some movies, and Portland is starting to get that way too, and of course we have Houston. We'll see what the Georgia Comedy Film Festival, that's our newest one in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
We'll see what they like. Everyone's a little bit different, right? But man, I'm glad you're sending your comedies to us. It is funny. It won't show my mom, but it is funny. And you got to tell us in your own words, what's the synopsis of Swiss Ball?
By the way, I got to say, Georgia will accept it. I've done some of my shorts at some was it the Dragon Con Film Festival in Georgia, and those audiences will show up and they love that stuff. So I think you're in good hands in Georgia. Swiss Ball, I guess, is the easiest way to describe it. It is the most important story you'll ever watch in your life. That's not true whatsoever. It's a story about a guy and his coworker starts making some funny noises at his desk. And he's like, no, I just got this new Swiss ball. You want to see it? It bounces and, burn off a couple of calories while I just bounce. I don't know. Is it making too much noise? And his coworker's like, yeah, you mind just like, yeah. And then the noises just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't even want to describe what the ending is because it's not appropriate if anyone's parents are listening. No.
Well, let's just say it's funny. And I remember at Austin, we had some laughs, but we also had a few people covering their mouth in shock.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, that's the best. And that's the best, man, about having a live event is that when you go there and your film is on, you can people watch a little bit and see, what they think of it.
Oh my gosh. So a buddy of mine had a horror film and I did some visual effects for it. This was maybe a decade ago. We were in I think it was Dances with Films or something. And I did this one effect where this lady had no face. I think this was around the time Silent Hill came out and that was really popular in horror films or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, me as very much a realist is no one's going to find this creepy. It's cool. It looks cool, but no one's going to find this creepy. So we, the film screening, that moment shows up. This woman's like, ah! I was like, yes! My life is complete. These dozens of hours making this effect work.
Oh man, isn't that the thing about horror though? You get that, horror and comedy are what I call my instant gratification. They're my instant gratification genres. A documentary, you get a golf clap at the end, but with these, we had a film one time at my very first Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. And we had a film where the guy did not believe in any visual effects at all. He wasn't going to do any CGI, anything. He did everything in camera. And he did this special effect. We had this scene where this lady had 13 gigantic tarantulas crawling all over her body while she was in like a bikini, basically.
Yeah.
And There were people who left the theater and were literally outside shaking because they had arachnophobia so
Ooh, that's
bad. So,
awesome.
you're like, I can see the ideas working. I can see them working.
I love it. It reminds me when I saw Paranormal Activity before anyone really knew what it was, and it was just kind of this thing people were talking about,
Mm.
but nobody spoiled it. I don't really believe in ghosts, but man, the thought of demons like terrifies me. Oh, I didn't sleep for a week after watching that.
Well, you know, a film's had a good effect when you can't stop thinking about it, my man. So,
That's what you want. That's the hope that it has a legacy in a way, I guess. Like it stays with you. And it's funny. Some of the things I've seen at short film festivals and film festivals stay longer than some of the actual films because they're personal. They're so much of an artist's like themselves in a piece of work, and then you talk with them, and you're there specifically to see something new and unique and different, and not just something sold to you.
yeah.
And I think that like that's kind of the magic of film festivals, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, my friend. That's why we like doing this. That's why we like presenting for a live audience, because it really is different from any experience just watching a single, commercially packaged movie that took $100 million to make. And
Yeah,
it really is different. I think at film festivals, people walk up to me and go, "I've never been to anything like this before. I've never seen anything like this before." And
yeah.
I think that's a huge compliment to what we do. So
And one of the things I love about film festivals too is just if there's something that you don't want to, or that you're not seeing in the world, it's at a film festival. I will guarantee it's at a film festival. Like everything that everybody's like craving for that they don't see. I'm like, it's there at a film festival. Guaranteed. I encourage everybody
yeah,
to go there. And it really is as much of a show and tell as it can be. It can be also something that just really opens your mind to like, wow, there are so many other voices out there. So I love it.
for sure, man, for sure. And you got to let us know what motivated you to write this specific film. Like, what were you trying to show the world? What was the uncommon thing that you were trying to? What idea? Where did this come from?
I don't know if there was a motivation to change the world with this, although it's clearly having that effect. Um,
For
no,
the worst. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'll start at the beginning with why I even do any of this stuff. I mean, back when I was a youngster, I remember I was in eighth grade. I wrote some stories. Like I had to write a writing assignment. And I was just like, you know what? This is just like playing with your toys. Like write a story, just let it all go out and have fun. I had the most fun doing it. And my teacher was like, this is too weird. I was like, great. And I've kept that up. And I remember, so I was working on, I got out to Hollywood. I thought I was going to be in radio, ended up working in television animation. Uh, found an ad for a Craigslist thing for Robot Chicken, which wasn't a Robot Chicken at the time. It was like some stop motion thing. I sent over a fax. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll, whatever, be on the show. And then, ended up being Robot Chicken, and I ended up working on there for like 6 years or so, 100 plus
Wow.
episodes. But during that time, I was just doing effects, and I was, in acting school and all this stuff. There wasn't really like, I got my moments to be creative, but I didn't have Andrew's moment thing that he could do.
Hmm.
So, while I was doing the pitching game and, you doing all that, I was just like, I need to make something. And so that all turned into comic books, which was my first series, Convenience Store Diet, which is what this is kind of built off of, the characters from that. And then just more and more over time, it's just like, I'm pitching this. Oh, people are liking it. People are passing on it. What do I do? I'm like, I'm not making things for a Hollywood boardroom to accept or reject. And while I love everybody there, believe me, they're the network executives I met, I love them. I understand they also have a job to put programming on, and my stuff may not be their thing. It's like, I still want to make this. And that's where I kept the ball rolling with making the shorts, like the two that I made during COVID times about, people wearing their masks and and all that. And then this one was another one that was just like, I think I was on a walk, and I was like, I came up with this idea, and I was like, well, I'm going to make it now. And that's kind of been my mentality with doing all the Convenience Store Diet stuff. That was with the comics, it was like, I got to get a new short out. I got to get a new thing out because the idea is there and I don't want to let it just disappear because I don't have money or time or whatever. It's like, no, I'm just going to do it and figure it out how. So that's where this was really born from. And so it is just very much like a labor of love in a way. It's just,
Sure.
I wanted to make a cool short to make people laugh. And hopefully that's what people get from it.
No, it well, you definitely achieved that with me, with the judges, with a lot of the audience. So we got the giggles, that's for sure. And it's nice and short and sweet, and it's a funny idea, and it's so different from everything else that's screening. So you accomplished that.
Oh, I love when I go into like a festival or a screening or anything. And I remember I was at one festival. It was like the first one was this like thing that clearly the country of France spent like, $1 million on, about a dad dealing with depression. And there's like all sorts of new technology to make a 3D film look like an indie film. Like, what? And then afterwards, like this Cartoon Network pilot. I'm like, what? And then there's one of my shorts where I'm running away from a building with my with my man parts spinning around in helicopter fashion.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just like, you guys put this in with that. And I'm like, oh, I guess nobody's really seeing anything like this. So, that's fair. I'm happy to be a little bit of an outlier because I think I think people like it. I think it's entertaining when they can be jolted a little bit from the standard sort of fare that they're presented.
For sure, all day. It's like that's why you go, like you were saying. The commercial slick stuff is there, but at the end of the day, the connections are made with the indies that show up.
Yeah.
When you were producing this, did you learn anything during the production?
It's so funny. I've done a bunch of these shorts right now. I think I've done like a dozen convenience store diet shorts over the years, and the production I kind of have down at this point because I basically learned to build a rig in After Effects, which I can animate somewhat efficiently compared to like, your traditional animation. So usually if I do a job in post-production or something to pay the bills, what ends up happening is I just learn stuff over and over and over, and then I start applying it to the convenience store diet stuff. So I ended up it really ended up being a honed version of that. And just, I think the fun of it was there was a freedom in allowing me to just create and not have to, spend too much time getting thinky problem solving brain going, but just have just a pure storytelling brain go, kind of like being on stage, and doing a live comedy show where you're just like, yep, this is me. I kind of know my tricks. I'm going to experiment and play it and just let it out and not worry about the technical things. And that was kind of the plus side. The only thing I really had to learn on this one to figure it out was that when you make, I had to learn how to make a DCP. That was one thing. And the other one I learned is if you let your Red Giant plugins expire and you send that DCP off to somebody, just make sure you renew your stuff so you don't get a big red X in the middle of a screening, because you can't always check that DCP very easily. If you think you're done, always double check your work.
I hear you, man. And it's so funny because when we do Austin Comedy and Austin After Dark, and then we do Atlanta After Dark and Georgia Comedy, which are going to be at the Plaza Theater, they require DCP. And I'm always shocked at the number of people that have no idea what it is. They write me back and they're like, why do I have to pay for this? And it's like, it's not for me, bro. This is like a commercial theater. That's what they screen. It's not, the money's not going to me. The money's going to you getting a service done for your file. Yeah. You're right. Quality control is so important. It's so important to be ready and to watch and don't have those media offlines and all those type of things. It's very, very important. And I've had a couple of DCP experiences the first couple festivals where people just didn't take the time to really see what they were sending in. So glad you can learn your lessons, with us if needed. But
it's interesting. I had to learn a lot about this DCP stuff. In all fairness, I did hire like an assistant because I looked at your email. I was like, I can't figure this out. Please help. So me and my buddy, he had trouble figuring it out because and this is no fault to you, but this is just in general when I've dealt with like DCPs with some festivals, they're just like, send us anything, and some are like, I need these specifications here in this
Sure.
order, and it's like that's just kind of how this game goes. And
Mm.
so I think one of the vendors I think you used, I learned how to get around it, but one of the vendors had like a weird laundry list, and some of them are like, yeah, if you could only send us on Cash App. Some of them I'm like,
Yeah.
or it wasn't, I don't think it was Cash App, but some version of like some
PayPal.
payment that you're
Yeah.
just like not sure about.
Sure.
Um, sometimes some places can be like that. But I will recommend to anybody who's trying to learn how to do DCP stuff, you can do it in Premiere, you can do it DaVinci. There's downloadable stuff. You can learn how to do it. You just have to be ready to run your head against the wall at full speed. And then, still learn for about 3 or 4 hours while screaming obscenities at your computer to the point where your neighbors call the cops. By the time that's done, you will figure out how to do a DCP and then forget it for the next one. But take good notes.
Yeah, first time is definitely a train wreck. It can be, but I'll tell you what, the product though, what's great though is the venues I just mentioned. You can stream 4K, you can stream 2K, you can stream 5.1 audio. Like when you get in there, the stuff is just breathtaking. You're just like, oh my goodness. Where at other festivals, and we do the best we can with the venues that we have, but we screen HD, MP4s and MOVs, and they look great, but DCP is definitely far and above, as close to the original format that you shot or rendered it in, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good experience at the end. So we're working through it. If we could stream everything DCP, we would. Because we also get a lot of quality control stuff and audio and things get flagged and stuff like that. So I know we're kind of off in the weeds on tech stuff, but it's good for people to understand.
I mean,
a lot to the business.
And that's a big thing about going to theaters is that like some people are there just to watch a thing and it doesn't matter. I'm kind of that mindset, but some people are like, I want the best quality. I was hanging out with a director once who was just like, telling me how much time he spent looking at the contrast values and the black levels of televisions, and like how he spent like hours upon hours just trying to make sure that visual quality experience he could get would be perfect. And I was like, oh, I forget. This is like wine tasting for some people. So
that's right.
That's kind of an important thing to think about.
Some people go full geek out on it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what you got planned for the future, my man? You got this film as obviously a part of a family or a series of films, and you had your Robot Chicken experience. That's a great thing to have on your resume, by the way. That kicks ass. I love Robot Chicken, especially the Star Wars ones are just so funny.
I was so happy when we got to do those. That was sort of a dream come true for everybody who got to be a part of that. I know like all the model makers and the people who physically, everybody there pretty much got to, I think Star Wars was a big reason they got into working on sets or writing or character making or visual effects or whatever the department was. Star Wars was a big influence. So when they got to be part of that world in some way, it was very meaningful. So I know that we were all very stoked when the specials came up, and we got to do it 3 times, which was great.
Man, that's cool. So what you got going on in the future?
So let's see. Right now, the big things I've been doing lately, and I'll show them off right now, is I've got a series of books called This Is Not a Kid's Book. You can get it on Amazon. Just look it up. This Is Not a Kid's Book, or head to andrewracho.com, and you can see during the pandemic, one of my buddies was like, I want to write a kid's book. How do I do it? And so I spent an hour writing a whole laundry list of like all the steps you need to do. Because, I've worked for, many years doing conventions and selling my own books and stuff. And so I wrote this long detailed thing. He deleted his post and I was like, how dare you? How dare you? I'm going to show you how to make a book, a kid's book, and I'm going to do it. And I was like, but I'm a horrible human being. So they're all going to be like not kids books. So I ended up making one, and then that turned into 16. So,
oh, wow.
That's what I've been over on the past few years. Couple, some feature thing I'm going to be directing next year. That's going to be fun. let's see. I don't think I have anything I can really announce in terms of like acting stuff. The last major
Yeah.
thing I was in was Final Fantasy VII Remake. So if you guys want to try and find my character in that, by all means, go for it. And if you want to see me on Twitch doing my thing, twitch.tv/Andrew Racho.
All right.
So yeah, all the things, but in transit at the moment for a lot of things.
All right. Well, we'll make sure to link up the Twitch channel. And it's good talking, man. It's good to hang out and talk shop. And let me know when your podcast is ready so we can do some more talking.
Dude, I'm gonna just make one. Like, I'll shoot you an email, after this. I'm gonna make one just so we can do like an hour or whatever, however long we want to go for an interview, and just talk shop. It'd be fun.
It'd be fun, man. I'll come on Twitch too. Twitch looks cool. I've never actually streamed anything on there.
Oh,
Um,
Twitch is a blast. I love it. It's a place where you can. Yeah, I feel like the interaction's good. I mean, it's the same as sort of YouTube and Facebook and stuff. Twitch just kind of has more of a gamer audience to it, but like,
mhm,
yeah, you get some dedicated people, in that world, and I've used the Twitch Discord kind of combo to, make some good pals and have a good time streaming. I
mhm,
love the interactivity of it. That it's, Facebook and YouTube, it's a little bit harder for,
sure.
for me as an indie, but yeah, Twitch, love it.
Good stuff, my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Let's see. Go watch Swiss Ball. Go attend all the festivals. Fly to them. Go see them. They're a lot of fun, and there's just nothing better than seeing anything live and then getting to talk with the filmmakers and asking them questions awkwardly. Nothing's better than just seeing they always feel like you're just hanging out with your friends watching movies, and I think that's
For
the
sure.
charm. So go see that stuff, and yeah, go follow me and hang out with me on all my socials and stuff so I can get enough Instagram followers for Raya.
Sounds good. All right, my man. Thanks for the encouragement, and hopefully some people can't make it to the live events, and we'll get the word out.
Yeah,
Appreciate you joining me today.
I appreciate you having me.